This is the Parker's Couch with Cameron, Carlin, and Carl, the Parker brothers. Some material is for a mature audience. Sit back and enjoy.
He was the first American Muslim head coach in NFL history.
And they did him like this?
Well, we know Aaron Rodgers politics, so that probably falls in line with why he hates him.
Well, did we just crack a code? It's the Parker brothers coming back at you for another week. What's going on, my brothers? The change of the season is here. I'm feeling it.
It has arrived.
Good afternoon, my brothers. The change of the season has not started here. It is nice, 80 degrees. God is good. And it is the most handsome, the most debonair.
He has blessed you. He has blessed you, my brother.
He has blessed me. Thank you.
You and no one else.
Only you.
May heaven smile upon you.
I miss that North Carolina 80-degree weather. But, it feels great right now. The 60s in the evening here.
I love the high 60s. I'd rather have the 68 versus the 80, so I'm happy.
Oh, it's 68 at night.
That's too hot.
That's not too hot. Calm down.
It's 68 at night. Well, actually, it's down to 63 at night now. Tonight, it's actually supposed to get down to 59.
Oh, yep, we got the long johns now.
No. That's
not the long johns. Let's start with the hurricane because that's the biggest thing going on right now. And by the time somebody is listening to our recording tomorrow morning, and if you are in the hurricane zones, we do wish you safety for sure. But just to give some latest updates before we get into our hurricane discussion here, Hurricane Milton is advancing toward Florida, where it could be one of the most destructive storms on record, according to the National Hurricane Center. The storm on Tuesday strengthened back into a Category 5 hurricane at this point, but is forecast to weaken to Category 3. But officials are warning Floridians to heed warnings and remain vigilant. Milton, everybody is talking about the strength of this storm. One thing that they're talking about how the pressure has been falling and winds have been increasing. And the satellite eye, the eye has cleared significantly and one mark of a very powerful storm. And it's expected to fluctuate over the next 36 hours, and it will weaken slightly, but double in size, meaning its disastrous impacts will be felt over a much larger area. Brothers, this is shaping up to be something quite scary. I was listening to a thing last night, and I don't know if y'all saw that clip where the one weatherman reporting where he started crying on TV.
I heard about it. I didn't see it.
That clip was incredible. He just literally, he was like, I'm sorry, y'all. Like, he was just like, I've never seen something like this before with my own eyes. What's going on? And then he started talking about climate change, and a lot of people then turn the channel because they don't want to hear about it.
They tuned out then.
They tuned out when he mentioned that. But these storms are becoming something else, brothers. And we're going to get into a hurricane discussion about misinformation and everything that's going on. But I want to let this breathe just 1 second and see if there's anything y'all want to say regarding this storm, specifically what's going on first.
There are people that I know and some people that you guys know that are going to be in that impacted area. We are seeing calamities like we haven't seen in a long time. And, it's just indicative of the times that we're living in. And, we just got to be aware of the signs that are out there. Some people don't believe in the Bible or biblical prophecy or things of that nature, but all I can say is in the book. You can believe it or not, but there's some things that are happening right now that gives credence to what's in the book. But beyond that, the devastation that these people will face, quite possibly, it's unimaginable. And we can even talk about the devastation that Helene, where it impacted the western part of Carolina, Tennessee, and all those areas. That recovery is still ongoing.
Absolutely.
But we're talking about a Category 5 storm with winds quite possibly up to 180 miles per hour. That's total devastation. You've heard some even say that it can surpass whatever hurricane Category 5 status is as it strengthens, because the waters are so warm right now.
Yeah.
I just want to echo what the superb things my brother just said. My heart just goes out to people who unfortunately can't afford to evacuate. You know what I'm saying? May not have the financial means to evacuate, so they're stuck there. Or people who have chosen to take a chance and stick it out. I think they talk about storm surges of 15 feet. Like, that's not survivable. So I'm just hoping that people have gotten out. And if they are still there, Godspeed. This is devastating. It's funny that you mentioned, I should say funny, but ironic about how you're saying that the storms are projected to be greater than a 5. I was thinking about that today when I was reading some articles. I'm like, there's probably going to be a day where we're going to move beyond 5. We'll probably get a Category 6 or 7 one day. Like, these storms are becoming massive because of the heat and the temperatures of the water, and also they're landing in places that, if you pick places that would be the worst place for it to land, they're going to those places, like in the Gulf area and Tampa, which is heavily populated and just a terrible place for a storm to exist, or like in North Carolina in the mountain areas and in the western part of the state, where there's like massive mudslides and just damage that's hard to fathom. So I'm just praying that everyone's safe, and again, Godspeed.
All right. And well said, brothers. And one of the things coming out of this hurricane, again, is now it's becoming political. And this is just so frustrating to me. And let's get into this a little bit about just everything that's going on with Hurricane Helene and this one coming. Recently, Harrison and DeSantis have traded barbs and stuff now, where Harris called DeSantis selfish on Monday amid reports that the governor refused to take her call after Hurricane Helene hit his state. The governor, a chief foil of the Biden administration, hit back Tuesday, suggesting the vice president was trying to parachute in because she's the Democratic candidate for the White House. And the feud between the two leaders comes as former President Trump has repeatedly attacked the Biden administration response to Hurricane Helene, and as the White House and some Republican officials have had to back down and clarify misinformation coming from the former president and his allies about the recovery efforts. Even FEMA has had to post on their website some fact versus fiction things, and other organizations. Everybody's posting this. Local Republicans are even reaching out to people on Facebook and other things saying, stop the spread of misinformation. But this politicization of Hurricane Helene and what's becoming Hurricane Milton is quite visible and visceral in our country right now. And they are attacking things like the $750. There's like there's claims that's all that the administration is offering, whenever that's just immediate relief funding. and you can still apply to FEMA. There are people like Laura Loomer who's out there who's literally posting and telling people do not cooperate with FEMA and saying it's a matter of survival. And it's just all various different kind of reports that are it. What's the truth, brothers? What is happening? Like, what are y'all seeing in all this misinformation, disinformation going on regarding the hurricane efforts?
What's the deal with the $750? Because I've been hearing a few things about the $750, and I don't want to speak erroneously. You know, some people are saying if you sign the paperwork that your property will be seized, or there's some language in there about basically kind of signing your life away. I don't see where that would be the case on $750. But what disturbs me, I just want to know, how does this work where we could give so much money to other countries, but we don't take care of home like we need to take care of home? And it doesn't matter whose administration it is. We saw this with Trump. We had issues with Florence here in North Carolina. Kind of been the mantra of the U.S. to always give a lot of foreign aid, but not a whole lot of domestic aid. I don't know where you guys land on that. I always say you got to sweep around your own front door before you try to sweep around somebody else's. Just from pictures that I've seen from individuals that have gone up to that area to give food themselves, because we've got some people local that have made trips. It's like a war zone. When people say it was post-apocalyptic, that's no lie. And the death totals that we're hearing on the news are not accurate.
To my understanding, the $750 is emergency type of relief that's you're able to receive like in a matter of hours. I know people have said that they've received it in as little as 6 hours. It depends on, if the bank's running, if what's going on with the situation. So
Right.
it's like a type of emergency relief. It's not like a final type of help. There's also things you have to apply through FEMA that you have to qualify for. That red tape, which I think is kind of ridiculous, and a natural disaster that you have to deal with all this red tape. I think that's just stupid. But what I hate the most is that this 750 comes from Congress. So we got a bunch of blowhards in Congress who are arguing about, oh, this money's going to migrants, or this money's going here, or this money's going there. So they want to just determine as little money they want to give to people in these type of situations. $750 is not going to go very far from the devastation that we saw. It's just not. So I just hate that we have to put everything in the hands of Congress in order to remedy situations that we get into as a people. Like, they're supposed to be representative of us, but Congress does not represent us in any kind of way, in shape, or form. So, and I just hate that politics gets in the way when people actually need help and relief.
So now, to me, a lot of this is quite confusing, and this is what I hate about social media and stuff now, because those stories get out there faster. Sometimes it's a good thing, and sometimes it's a detriment. And I think in situations like this, it becomes extremely cloudy and about what is really happening. And then whenever you aren't there, or you're not witnessing it firsthand, or you're not going through it, it's hard to really understand. And all I can go off of is what FEMA is actually reporting, like what they're saying they're doing. And I've kind of been listening to the White House briefings about what's going on, trying to go like to that firsthand source of getting information as well. You're right with the 750. That's just a one-time quick assistance thing. I totally agree with the red tape thing. That's my problem. Like, I feel like the issue comes with the amount of time it takes to get things and all of the red tape you had to go through applying. And there's things outside of FEMA. There are other ways of accessing money and stuff through these disaster relief funds. So it's not just FEMA. As of Sunday, FEMA says it has provided more than 137 million in assistance to 6 states in the Southeast, including 7,000 federal personnel, nearly 15 million meals, 14 million liters of water, 157 generators, and more than 500,000 tarps. The agency also says more than 3,000 North Carolina residents have been rescued or supported by more than 1,200 urban search and rescue personnel with recovery efforts aided by the National Guard. North Carolina has also received 100 million in federal transportation funds to rebuild roads and bridges washed out by the storm. And one of the popular reports right now, I was coming out saying like FEMA is running out of money, as you brought up with the migrants. That's a loaded thing there. Like, if you want to get nitty gritty, FEMA does not hand out money to migrants. But what happened under the Trump administration is that FEMA got placed under the Homeland Security umbrella. So what happens is when that money for migrants gets divvied out through a different budget, FEMA is responsible for handing it out. It's not FEMA's money, but the money goes through them to hand out to migrants. And that's that kind of little caveat that got a little convoluted there. But as far as funding, at least according to the White House briefing, and according to this, they say there is enough money in the FEMA's budget to handle Milton and to handle Helene. There's enough there, and it's that $20 billion that they have, and that's been, but Congress hasn't renewed that money or something going forward. It's like something that didn't happen with this money, and that is all this red tape. But cut out the red tape. The part that gets me, where I think the current administration misstepped and where I think Kamala Harris misstepped in this whole thing, that Lebanon tweet should have never went out. That was not smart to me in the midst of this to talk about the money that they're sending to Lebanon right now, when we have all these disasters and all this hailstorm that's going on and all this thing of misinformation. We understand there are different budgets. There's stuff where stuff functions. We can walk and chew gum at the same time, but things don't seem to move fast enough whenever it's here at home. I think a lot of that needs to be dealt with and really needs to be ironed out and cleaned up. And so whenever you do things like that, it's not gonna look good. And what they're saying, what's happening now is people are choosing not to go through government aid, or they're choosing not to use these things because of the misinformation that's out there and stuff.
Yeah, that's the sad part. Like Carl was saying, like, people are saying that FEMA's going to take your property and stuff like that. Like, this craziness is out.
Yeah,
There's a lot of crazy talk.
How do people in this situation? I know we were talking about the bureaucracy of it and the red tape. How do people actually get the money if they don't have power? And
see, I have no idea, and I'm not even gonna pretend that I know. That's my question.
There are other ways that we could provide aid to them without going through all that red tape. I just don't understand why we do our own people that way. It just doesn't make sense. We try to look good abroad and amongst our allies and things of that nature, but I think it makes us look bad also to not take care of your home. When you have major disasters going on and your people are suffering.
These kind of it really does put things in perspective about the way that we move and stuff as a country, and how we do things, and it brings into question just a lot of the protocols that we have in place. Like they just sometimes just don't make sense for the situation that's at hand.
And herein lies my Civil War.
Oh, it's brewing. I mean, it's brewing hardcore. And especially the underlying thing is that everything that is happening is being tied to immigration and
Yeah.
migrant as being a problem.
Oh, yeah.
And even now, Trump has elevated that talk and is now talking about them having bad genes.
Jeans and all that. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's just all elevated into so many different areas now.
Right. And he even has Latinos against Latinos, blacks against the Latinos. It's like everybody is jumping against the migrants. It's like they are just going to have to fight for their life because they're trying to turn every demographic against them. And it's working.
Yeah. And you saw what he said he would do in Springfield.
Yeah. Not
Even to the
Yep.
legal
Legal,
immigrants that
yes.
we get. He's going to reverse that.
Yeah.
So I want people to pay attention. It's only to, black and brown people that they are attacking. I just say do your due diligence. Now, I just don't take anything from face value. I try to take it all in because I don't understand this stuff. And that's the problem. People keep wanting to pretend like they understand everything and know everything that's going on. And it's just looking at some little headline and running with it. And there's going to be a little wrong all the way around. I'll tell you that. That's what you're going to find.
And it's also a good thing to question government because the government doesn't always have your best interests. 9 times out of 10, they
And
don't.
we know this.
Very true statement, Carlin.
All right, y'all, let's change gears. He's out of there. Woody Johnson says, I have seen enough. The Jets owner explains in a brief statement about his thinking behind the firing of Robert Saleh. Just 5 games into the season, y'all. This morning, I informed Robert Saleh that he would no longer serve as the head coach of the Jets. Johnson said, I thanked him for his hard work these past 3.5 years and wished him and his family well moving forward. This was not an easy decision, but we're not where we should be given our expectations. And I believe now is the best time for us to move in a different direction. And according to the report, Saleh reported to work on Tuesday morning after the Jets 23-17 loss to the Vikings. Vikings 5-0, by the way, in London. And that's when Johnson informed him that he was being let go. So he says he was completely blindsided. What are they doing? It's 5 games into the season. You win Monday night, you would be first place in your division.
This is exactly why I don't buy Johnson & Johnson products. They can't run anything right. My goodness, this guy, I'm not saying he deserved not to be fired because that record is abysmal, but he has never had a stable quarterback, even with this Aaron Rodgers, who looks like he's 105. Like, how is the whole offensive team unit still there? They should fire every one of those offensive staff members. Goodbye, coordinator, quarterbacks coach, running backs coach, offensive line coach. Get them all out of there. They stink. The only thing they did have going for them was the defense. So this is basically saying, hey, this is Aaron Rodgers' team. Aaron Rodgers wants him out, so we're gonna get him out of there. Sorry, not sorry.
Why did they have to physically escort him out the building?
That's what
That's
so disrespectful.
Huge because this man is huge.
But that lets you know a punk move, brother. That lets you know who's a punk.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Why you got to escort him out? Because you did wrong. So the one that should have been escorted out is the one that's under center right now. I guess some reports are saying a lot of it was because of the tension that he and Aaron Rodgers had. I mean, Aaron Rodgers ain't done nothing for that organization yet.
I don't understand why he has so much power. Like, you won a Super Bowl like a million years ago.
I don't understand it.
I don't get it either. And I think it's Deshaun Jackson was spilling tea about how they don't like each other. He seems to know what's going on in the league when he comes on and spills some stuff. I remember him talking about that months ago.
Michael Irvin said something about that too, because it's like their body language. Like I think Saleh tried to dap him up one time, and Aaron was like, basically,
Oh,
"Don't
that
touch
was this
me."
year.
Yeah, this year. Yeah, so
Yeah,
there's some tension there.
he obviously shunned him when he tried to dap him up that time. Saleh is a Muslim, right?
That I don't know.
I don't know.
He
I
is.
forgot his lineage. He's something.
He was the first American Muslim head coach in NFL history.
Oh, wow. I didn't even know that tidbit. And they did him like this?
Well, we know Aaron Rodgers' politics, so that probably falls in line with why he hates him.
Well, did we just crack a code?
we may have.
I said that without saying, Carlin. Thank you.
I'm going to say it.
Thank you for your astuteness and your bluntness.
I'm Sagittarius, baby. That's what we do.
It's interesting. I mean, the problem is obviously on the offensive end with this team, and we know Saleh is a defensive coach. Like,
yeah, he is. He's definitely defensive minded, but the problem ain't with the defense; is with the offense.
Not at all. Not at
Aaron
all.
Rodgers blew that game Sunday. He blew the game.
3 interceptions.
3 picks.
3 picks. Crazy.
It's just something about these London trips. I don't know if people have too much time to think on the flight back home or something.
They're dangerous.
They make a lot of rash decisions on these flights back.
Maybe they get embarrassed internationally. You get around your other billionaire friends and bringing everybody out. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's some embarrassment or something there. I don't understand this move, though, at all. Like, the Jets, I don't know. I feel like they're one of them people who thinks more highly of themselves than they should. Like,
Delulu. That fan base is delusional.
Yeah.
They really are. They really are. But I really think this brings a hit to Aaron Rodgers' legacy. And I was just thinking about that today, especially with everybody that keeps trying to put him up there with Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. What happened with them post 40 going to different teams?
They brought championships.
They showed up. They were showing up whenever you wasn't even supposed to show up, getting in trouble for practicing with people doing COVID. Tom Brady doing all that. Peyton Manning was out there all the time with his guys.
All of it. All of it. And this prima donna, he can't show up unless it's some press out there for him.
Exactly. And then throwing hissy fits whenever stuff ain't working out. Well, I mean, where's the timing coming? How you think you're going to get this timing? It's not going to happen magically on the field.
I'm a savant. Why are you not catching my passes?
He needs to be fired. That's the one that needs to be fired.
Jets fans, you're reeling, but who
does anybody want this job?
Who would want that job?
The fool to take this job.
An absolute fool. Because that's Aaron Rodgers' team. Who's coming in there to take that?
This is almost akin to coaching an aged LeBron James.
Ooh, you own something with that one. I'm telling you. I won't want either one of those jobs.
On the flip side, who's having a good time right now? Them Baltimore Ravens. I just wanted to talk about this game because this was my personal favorite game of Sunday. I don't know what y'all favorite game of Sunday was, but this game was entertaining. Okay. And the Ravens pulled out the 41-38 victory in overtime to go to 3-2. And poor Cincinnati is now 1-4. But Lamar, 26 of 42, 348 yards in the air, 4 touchdown passes. Burrow, 30 of 39, 392 yards in the air, 5 touchdown passes, and 1 critical interception. We know King Henry shut it down. They locked them up all game. And what was I saying? Carlin, what was I saying?
You said, I feel it. Henry's going to break one. Give Henry the ball.
He's just going to break that one. He's guaranteed. That's all you need. It's that one.
He's just too big.
Just too big.
He's too big, cruising. He's going to break one.
As long as you stick with that game plan, don't go away from it.
Yeah,
it's going to happen. Y'all, but Lamar, this is Lamar's game. This was incredible.
That touchdown pass where he dropped the ball and scrambled to the sideline, threw against his body to what was it? To Lively?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, just remarkable.
Yeah, and he had 55 yards rushing, I should say.
Yeah, that play alone was amazing, man. I hadn't seen a play that incredible in a while.
Okay. Absolutely not.
I was like, this is play of the year. SB goes to it's a wrap.
Is there, and do you think he has a chance to win MVP again?
Not this year.
I don't know. If he continues to win like he's winning, unless Henry has more 150-yard games, then I think Henry trumps him and they win, if they win a lot. Because Henry, as much as we talk about Lamar, Henry brought them out of the kinks. Because their season was on the brink.
Yep.
He broke the games wide open. Those 2 games that they won back to back. Initially,
you're absolutely right.
And I would say if he keeps on that pace, he would be the guy that would probably have the chance to win it over Lamar. And there may be some other guys.
If they give him enough touches. It pissed me off in overtime. We were talking, Cameron. I was like, you don't need to throw another pass. Just hand it off and run it down their throats.
Just hand it off.
Like Detroit did against, who was that? The Rams. They just ran the ball straight down their throat.
Just hand it off.
Just hand it off. You didn't have to throw the ball.
Hand it off. Or fake the handoff and run with Lamar.
With Lamar, exactly.
I definitely agree.
But other than that, the dark horse, and I hate to even say this because he's a rookie, but
Jaden
Daniels, my background, he's my player, my quarterback.
It's my quarterback.
He's outstanding right now, and
he is outstanding right now. Yes, I agree.
Next week we get Lamar and Daniels on the same field.
Oh my gosh!
This should be a prime time matchup. What time is this game?
That game is going to be incredible, and they play at. I can let you know right now. Yeah, it's a 1:00 game.
Where?
Oh, CBS in Baltimore.
In Baltimore.
Well, my phone is going to be on this game 24/7 as we watch the Red Zone.
Yes, we have to keep something on that game permanently where it's just on that while watching something else. Absolutely, 1000%. Well, on the flip side, are the Bengals done? What do y'all think? Can they rebound?
Have you seen that defense?
I think Burrow said it best. We are not a championship caliber team. said, let's be honest. We are not a championship caliber team. And my hat's off to Burrow. He threw for 5 and he had that one crucial pick, but prior to that, he was sensational.
And it was a great play that the player made for Baltimore. It was a great play.
Yeah, but kudos to him. He was sensational that game, and I actually picked them for an upset that game.
You almost had it.
And truthfully, we had it in the hand. We had it in hand until he threw that pick.
And Zach Taylor's done behind not throwing the ball when they had the ball back. What was that?
Burrow, then Lamar, both quarterbacks almost lost that game.
They did.
No matter how well they played. They both played outstanding, but both almost lost it.
Lamar had some problems with ball security there. He was taking his eyes off of the ball.
He has a problem with that.
He has fumbleitis, so he needs to cure that.
I don't think there's a cure. I think that just comes with Lamar.
This comes with the territory.
Point, you just know that you're gonna get that. He needs not to do it at critical times, though. That's the thing, is he seems to do it in the worst moments.
So true.
But brother, Carl, your boys, are they your boys again?
Negativo.
The Cowboys pull out the 20-17 win over the Pittsburgh Steelers. I need somebody to tell me how the Cowboys won this game.
That was the ugliest win I've seen in some time.
I don't understand how they even won this game, because Dak Prescott was pure trash this game. When I say pure trash, I don't know how many throws he missed this game, but it was terrible. He was behind on receivers. He was in the dirt. He was awful.
Now tell me something good about him, because even despite all that,
he
made the play.
He made the play at the end. He had a full lane to run. He decided to pass it, which was a great decision.
You sound so reluctant to say something good about your quarterback right now.
We won, but I'm not happy about the win, because it, like you guys said, it was in ugly fashion. However, what I will say, the defense is starting to learn how to play a little bit of defense now, although it was against an anemic offense. That they did play fairly well, but our defense suffered another loss of a DN. We lost Nealon, so we're struggling in that aspect on defensive end. But I can't be all in on these guys.
I'm going to tell you what impressed me about the Cowboys. That they won a game where you had to be tough. Like, they out-tough the Pittsburgh Steelers in Pittsburgh. Like, that doesn't happen often. So, to me, and they were missing Parsons didn't play, and I think DeWindo had an excellent game. Like, he needs to get more touches.
Yeah, Dowdle. He did.
What is that, Dowdle? Yeah, whatever his name is. I call him Dwindle. I don't know why I think it was Dwindle. But yeah, he was fantastic. But yeah, you did play an anemic offense. Pittsburgh offense is awful.
What is that? Like, I mean, we love Tomlin, we love all this and that, but this is it's getting to be just a recurring theme. Like, I don't understand. Ever since Big Ben, it's like they can't
They cannot get right since
Offense.
Big Ben. Nope.
Well, Big Ben was a great quarterback, whether you like him or not. You know, he
Yeah.
was a great quarterback. He held on to the ball too long in a lot of instances, but that's who Big Ben was. But who have they had as a quarterback after him? Nothing.
It's yeah. And their receivers, they just don't. I don't know if they don't go to Pickens enough or try to get him involved, or if their receivers just can't win routes.
Pickens,
Like,
he's their only threat. So he's going to get double coverage the whole game.
They haven't had a receiver since Lynn Swan back in the 80s.
Not Lynn Swan. AB was decent. AB was pretty good until he turned
yeah.
crazy.
Oh gosh. Yeah, their line is terrible. Like it's not looking good now at Pittsburgh. I want to see if Justin Fields gets this blame and if they keep on losing and if it's going to be Russell Wilson time.
Oh yeah, he loses one more game, he's out of there, baby.
They already talking about Fields being gone. Already.
That already. I
Already.
don't think it's his fault. I really don't.
No, it's not his fault.
I don't think it is. I don't think he's played that bad. Really.
I think he's played well. I just think they're just not dynamic enough on offense. They don't have who scares you to go deep?
Absolutely no one.
No one. That's why Pittsburgh's been looking for a receiver all season. Like that's why they want an Ayuk and they're looking at everybody. Adams, they're trying to get anybody they can find.
Oh yeah. If we could run a route, they'd come get us, I believe.
I do have to ask you, brother, do you think there's something going on with CD and Dak?
Oh, it's been going on. CD and Dak do not get along, and it stems from his mama, though. CD's mama has got too much mouth.
A lot of mouth. And the Parsons, too.
You know what? I forgot about all those messages.
She talked pure trash
Yeah, trash.
about Dak. And you can see them on the sidelines. They do not like each other.
They don't even look at each other. I know Michael Irvin said he was trying to investigate and asking people, but everybody's swearing to him up and down that they're boys. They get along.
No, they can't stand each other.
Yeah, right. They're two different. They're not the same bird.
They're not the same people. CD is you know.
And Dak, he's white adjacent.
Mm-hmm.
This is true. Yeah.
Did y'all hear what Parsons said though?
No.
Talking about something we're going to talk about later with Cam Ward and how he was big up in Cam Ward. How now that's a quarterback.
Ooh.
He said that on his podcast.
Mm-hmm. Talking about how he think he may be the first pick in the draft. And he said how the team galvanizes around him, like giving all these platitudes, things he's never said about Dak.
Ooh.
Well, that stings. We'll see. I just feel like this season there's going to be some drama that definitely unfolds with this Cowboy team. It has that feeling. Some other drama unfolding. The sorry behind 49ers. And yes, I said sorry. What was that on Sunday? How did they end up losing that game? Carlin, I don't understand what's going on with our team.
I don't know what to say about this. I really don't. Yeah.
And I don't want the excuses of who they're missing.
No, they said it's something going on in the clubhouse. They said the energy's off. I don't know what that means, but that's the reports coming out. I think a lot of it has to do with Just the little things like that interception that Purdy threw,
Yeah.
we're just not making the plays when we need to make them. I think Mason missed the block or something, or they overloaded one side of the line. They brought four people on
That
one
big
side of the
fumble
line.
Mason had whenever there at the end.
Critical fumble. Well, we didn't punt in the second half, but we had two interceptions and fumble and a turnover on downs because we lost the kick. We lost the kicker. Like it was just weird. There's just too much stuff going on.
I mean,
So I'm thinking it's just some bad juju this first part of the season. We can get right on Thursday. I'm praying, hoping. If we don't win on Thursday, we're done. We'll be 0-3 in the division.
I know we keep losing these divisional
We're
games.
losing
That's what
divisional games when we had 85% chances to win in both of them late in the fourth quarter.
two that we should have won.
Should have won.
You,
So we just need to find somebody needs to step up and make a play. Do your job.
That's the thing that kills me about Purdy. Like he could be killing it throughout the whole game. Get to that fourth quarter. If we are trailing, I
He's a
have
front
full
runner.
confidence.
He's a front runner. I think his QBR is like 130 when they're leading and like 60 when they're trailing. You got to do better.
this past Sunday that didn't bode well for them because they was up 10. Y'all, they was up 10 in the fourth.
Yes, going into the fourth, we was up 13 at halftime.
13 at halftime. And one
Going
thing,
into the
we're
fourth,
kicking way too many field goals.
going
We're not
into the
scoring
fourth,
touchdowns.
yes. Up 10, your boy fumbles in the red zone. That was a bad fumble for Mason.
That was horrible.
Now, he had been running hard all game. He was stiff arming, mushing people. He looks good, but that fumble, that was a bad fumble. Uncharacteristically, the defense.
It's not good.
They're up and down. They're having them like they're just inconsistent.
Yeah.
They're so inconsistent.
Yeah.
And that's what scares me is like whenever we have to make a play is not being made this season. I guess my only saving grace is that it's not uncharacteristic of San Francisco to have slow starts.
Right.
Like we often
It's true.
we often start off like with 4 or sometimes 5 losses, and then they get on the roll and turn around. The only thing is with this season, I think people are just getting older too. And
Yep. And the schedule's tough. The schedule's very tough on the back end of the schedule.
About to pick up. Yes.
I can't believe they lost to Arizona though.
Not in Arizona. Now, if it was in Arizona,
I would understand because it's a house of horrors for us there. Even when we're good, we lose there.
So that's different. But
no, man, it's inexcusable.
I think Shanahan needs to take a break, let somebody else call some plays or something. I think he needs to manage the team a little bit more right now because I think the team needs something. Needs a little fire, a little change of something, change of chemistry. Something's got to change.
But who's surprisingly, well, I don't know if it's surprisingly,
who always makes the plays they need to make to win?
Who always makes the plays. That's why I put them here because they always make the play that needs to be made.
The Chiefs,
Kansas City Chiefs, sitting at 5-0. Yeah, are they clearly the best team in the league right now, or not?
I told you until they knocked off.
I'm never picking against them until they lose. Somebody knocks them off.
Until they knocked off. Patrick Mahomes is out there playing un-Patrick Mahomes like,
right?
And they're still 5-0.
Still with it.
So wait till he heats up. My gosh.
And my guy, you talk about nobody to throw it to. Like, I don't know what was going on with Kelsey all season, but they seem to be getting it together now.
They're getting it together.
But
Oh, he has no choice now, so Kelsey has to go back to
yeah,
his old ways.
But outside of Kelsey, who you got?
he revived Juju last night.
Juju
Yeah.
had a resurgence, didn't he?
Yeah, Juju came out of. And I thought Kareem Hunt was working that food line.
I think he was. He should have been.
I saw him.
Now he running for 100 yards.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw him 3 weeks ago, and then all of a sudden he's on playing on the football team.
I guess, but the kingdom doesn't care about domestic violence anymore, huh?
Somebody had to go
Too
there.
soon. Too soon.
Carline.
Well, they jumped like a bad habit, and now they need somebody. It's like, oh, all is forgiven. That was years ago.
Let the man have some redeeming qualities or something.
You said now they need somebody.
Jeez.
I'm not blaming him. I'm talking about we're the paradise. We're Jesus' team. We're the kingdom.
Jeez.
But this team, I just can't say any more accolades about them. Like, they just get it done.
Spagnola. He's the hero of the team. Nobody ever talks about him. Spags is the hero of the team. This defense is carrying this team the last 2 years.
The last 2 seasons, that's what's carrying them.
It's carrying them.
We can't leave, though, the NFL without talking about this disaster. Now, this had our chat stream.
We were upset. I was so upset in this game by both teams. Let's get to it.
Y'all, the Buffalo Bills lose 23-20 to the Houston Texans. It should have went to overtime, but for some reason, when time was expiring, it was like 32 seconds or something on the clock. I forget how much time was there. They decide to pass for 3 downs whenever they are like on the 2 or 3 yard line.
Was it they or was it Josh Allen?
A concussed Josh Allen.
A concussed Josh Allen who should have never been back in the game. That was clearly a concussion.
Hello?
It was clearly a concussion. When that head slammed down like that,
he didn't know where he was.
He was in La La Land somewhere. And they let him run up out of that tent like he was
right.
Willis Reed.
That didn't make any sense.
And see what it got him.
And I did not know his stats, y'all, until I looked it up until yesterday. Do you know
it's one of the worst games in history.
You know he was 9 for 30?
Yeah, it was terrible.
Serious?
9 for 30.
I think it was one of the lowest rated games in the history of the NFL.
This is the special treatment of Josh Allen. Let that have been Lamar Jackson.
Oh my goodness.
Going 9 for 30.
I'm basing that joke.
Oh my gosh. That would have been like leading off things.
Is Lamar done?
Is Lamar over? Yes. Is it time to move on?
Wow.
Went 9 for 30. And like I said, I don't want to hear about who's not there. What's happened? I don't want to hear none of that stuff because there are clearly teams in the league who are missing people and getting it done.
He still got weapons. Ain't no doubt about it. But on the other side, CJ, he kind of let me down that game. I thought he looked disheveled.
He did.
He didn't look like CJ.
Thank you, brother. Thank you for segueing to this. Y'all know my love for the Houston Texans. DeMarco Ryan, CJ Stroud. How in the world are you passing the ball with 1 minute left.
Exactly.
Buffalo has no timeouts.
Exactly.
You have 3 timeouts.
This man
And you have Fairburn, who can make a 75-yard field goal.
Talk to me.
There is no way Buffalo should have even gotten the ball back.
Yeah.
This was a terrible ending.
The decision making was deplorable. CJ, I don't know what happened. Maybe because Collins was gone. Didn't have a running back. Mixes out too. Like he has some issues there because his players are out. But I was not impressed with his play. But at the end of the day, CJ always finds a way to win the game.
Yeah. But
So,
D'Amico almost lost that game for D'Amico.
oh,
Right.
absolutely. Yes.
Absolutely.
Which
is rare. Like, that's rare. Like, he's normally really great, I feel like.
Yeah.
In situations like this.
That was coaching malpractice.
Like last year, he was clearly the best coach in the league last year.
Yes.
Absolutely.
But he got lucky. He got off the hook because there's another coach who was even dumber on that Sunday.
I told you, I do not trust that Buffalo Bills staff. That's my thing with them. I don't trust them.
You said it.
And bro, that's a good point. I don't know if it's them or Josh. I don't know if Josh was overriding things and trying to be a hero out there.
Well, you know, Josh Allen always got to save the world. I don't know if that's him or the Buffalo Bills organization. Because this is the same organization that benched Tyrod Taylor for the playoffs, even though he was the quarterback the entire season, to go with something called Nathan Peterson, who went up to go throw 6 interceptions that day. So this team is not very bright.
I don't know. Looking at the offensive coordinator on some of those calls, it was almost like he said, "Who made that call?"
He was like, "That was not me."
Yeah, Josh Allen, he audibles a lot.
Yeah, he looked like he was about to lose his mind up there in the booth. So I don't know.
See, that's why a boy got fired the first time, the other coordinator, because he let Josh Allen just have free reign. And this guy came in, he was like, "No, we're changing things up." But Josh Allen want to be hero ball against, I guess, Stephon Diggs to back up his comments.
Well, he went to the house that day with a long mouth.
All right, brothers. Let's end on some college football today. The new rankings are out. The weekend was bananas. All right.
I thought this was going to be a terrible football weekend.
Yes. If you were looking at the schedule, you're like, oh,
this is going to be terrible.
We said, oh, no. We ain't messing with none of these games.
We ain't messing with none of them. Not doing no picks or nothing with that. And it just ended up being one of the most incredible weekends in terms of upsets that were happening. And the new rankings are out, just so we see the new top 12, I guess. That would be important. We have Texas at 1, Ohio State at 2, Oregon at 3, which that's going to be a big game this Saturday with Ohio State and Oregon. Penn State at 4. Penn State is undefeated. Okay.
They played nobody.
Georgia at 5. Miami at 6. Alabama at 7. Tennessee at 8. Ole Miss at 9. Clemson at 10. Iowa State at 11. And Notre Dame at 12. I guess that the Alabama probably is the biggest. I mean, they just became number 1. Go to Vandy. That was. Did y'all expect that?
Not me. But
I expected it to be closer than you would think, but not this close. I didn't expect this.
I didn't expect this. I thought Milroe was going to be too much for him, but I
Well,
got
I've
my.
seen Vandy a couple times this year. I knew that they have talent.
They got talent, but all of a sudden Alabama couldn't stop anybody. They just couldn't stop anything.
Their defense.
What happened? Like Milroe he had that one interception that was returned for a pick six, which is crucial.
That was a crucial pick six.
And that
That was a
fumble
crucial pick
in the
six.
game was bad too.
Yes. And that. And then the second half, he came on a little bit more, and I was like, okay, Milroe is about to lead them back. But every time he would get down there and they'll score, Vandy come right back. Score.
They out-schemed them. They lost the coaching battle.
And even when they knew they had to run the ball, they couldn't stop them.
Yeah. They got out-schemed. I thought it'd be a drop-off just because the game last week is such a huge emotional game that you're naturally gonna. And Vanderbilt's supposed to be the sleepy team. You remember, I think Nick Saban came out a couple weeks ago and said it's the sleepiest place in the SEC. It's so quiet there. So it was just like a recipe of disaster for them. They were super hyped for the game, and the quarterback, he was a big Johnny Manziel fan. So it was just like everything.
He said he watched that game like so many times, and he watched it again that morning.
It was just a recipe for disaster for the Tide.
Well, college is good for this. Like at least one weekend out of the year, where it's like all these unexpected things.
The October surprise. It's like like politics. The October surprise is always an October surprise weekend in college football.
I just didn't see this one though.
No, I didn't see Vandy winning the game.
But it wasn't only them. I mean, there were upsets.
The Tennessee one surprised me. I thought this Tennessee team had a good chance.
Yes.
Of running the table.
Where has the offense gone? Like they have stunk up the place lately.
Is something going on in school? Somebody getting bad grades? What's going on? Like, was something going on in life? Because something has changed in this team, and they can't score now. That game was definitely surprising to me.
But I think though, with these super conferences now, you're gonna have all these huge matchups. We're gonna see a lot more upsets with these quote unquote lower tier teams in the league because they're gonna be super hungry, and you got the transfer portal now. And if you have a quarterback, you got a chance to win.
Yeah.
So I think these games are going to be a lot more competitive going forward.
And is USC just kind of showing they're not ready for the Big Ten right now?
Pretty much.
Dreadful.
They now have lost 2 games in the Big Ten, 1 and 2, losing to Minnesota.
Yep, pretty much.
I
think the luster's off your boy.
You think what?
The luster's gone from boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he coached at USC.
Yeah. But I do want to talk about this game to end with Miami against Cal.
Great game.
How in the world did Miami win this game?
I still don't know. I remember I was deciding. All right, when I've been slowly watching the Lord of the Rings series. Too. And I was a few behind, and going into that fourth quarter, I was like, I'm tired of watching this game. I don't know why this always happens to me. They were down 38-18 going into that fourth, and I said, nah, I'm gonna go ahead and cut on Lord of the Rings. I just happened to look at my phone a little bit later, and I said, wait a minute, huh?
That boy Cam Ward going off.
I had to go back and rewind and watch and see what happened. like Cam Ward just went off. 35 of 53, 437 yards, 2 TDs. Is Cam Ward a new Heisman frontrunner? Or is he just in the conversation? Or is it now just a tight 3-man race where they're all kind of equal at this point? Or is Travis Hunter having that week off kind of pulled ahead?
I'm going to say Cam Ward is in the conversation.
Yeah, Cam Ward will be in New York City for sure.
He's in the conversation. It's going to come down to can Travis Hunter and the Buffaloes get some big wins?
Yeah.
If they get wins, I think it's Hunter's to lose.
But if Miami keeps escaping the jaws of defeat like they're doing, Cam Newton's going to be right. I mean, not Cam Newton. Cam Ward's going to be right there.
Ward's going to be right there, but I don't trust the U. The U will find a way.
Well, Colorado has a big one Saturday against Kansas State.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big game.
That's going to be a huge game.
That's going to be. Hey, if he shows up there, it's going to be hard to dispute Mr. Hunter.
It's going to be the Kansas State game, the Iowa State game, and the Arizona game are going to be the determining games to see how far they can go as a team and in the Heisman. Y'all think Shedeur can find his way there too?
That's a good question. I just don't know if he could beat out Travis on his team.
Travis is the guy.
Yeah, he's not going to beat Travis out on the team.
But
I think he can find a way to get to New York City possibly.
He's putting up numbers.
I like him as a QB. I'm going to tell you that. I'll take him over the one I got in Dallas.
And I'll take him to San Francisco.
Y'all are terrible.
I'll take him in a skinny minute.
Oh, I should mention, too, the controversy in Miami, too, at the end. They escape another one on a controversial call. Is
the targeting?
Yeah, the targeting. Y'all, I don't know. The conspiracy's in play with me now with Miami. The conspiracy is in play.
Oh, the ACC is definitely scripting the Hurricanes.
They're going to keep this team undefeated as long as they can. But, yeah, my pick right now, I don't know. We had our argument last week, but now I might be going back to Alabama losing that game. Milroy comes down for me now. I'm going – Travis Hunter moves up. We'll see what happens Saturday.
Hunter moves up.
And Cam Ward, Milroy might be third place for me now.
Yeah, he's third for me.
He's not even on the top 5 for me right now. You lost to Vanderbilt. You're going to have to show me something.
No, Carlin.
You just said Vandy's a good team.
They are, but it's still Vanderbilt.
Stall him out, Carlin. Give him a chance.
Sorry, not sorry. And you had a horrible fumble and interception to cost the game. Sorry.
This has been a Rosie B production. You can follow the Parker's Couch on YouTube and TikTok. You can follow Cameron on Instagram at cdparker03, Carlin at Carlin1978, that's CARLON, and Carl at ParkC73.